Hello, we're going to work on week 6, day 1 today. So you're going to go here and you click on today's link. Make sure that you take attendance. It'll be here and on the front page, but make sure you take attendance if you're a virtual student. If you're in person, I'll take your attendance for you. But if you're virtual, make sure you take the attendance. Today's goal is students will write the equation for a line from an equation, or from a graph, I'm sorry. This video will be posted right here. We're going to click on the assignment. So the assignment is 13 points, which usually means that it's 13 questions. We'll go ahead and get it started and take a look at it. So the first question, the first few questions, first 5 questions are the same type. So it says find the slope and the y-intercept. The slope is always going to be the number right in front of x. So for this problem, the slope is 5. For the y-intercept is always going to be the number after the x. And so in this case, it's -3. If it would have said +3, it would have been +3. But since it says -3, it's -3. You're going to do the same thing for questions 2 and 3 and 4. Now, question 5 is a little bit harder. And the one thing I want to point out about it is we're going to look for the slope. Well, there's just a negative sign in front of the slope. But don't forget that there's always a 1 in front of x. So the slope is actually -1. When we look at the y-intercept for this problem, we're going to see that it says -4. So that tells us that the y-intercept is -4. And so again, the y-intercept is -4. The second problem, it gives you the slope and it tells you the y-intercept and it wants you to write the equation. It's just like before, the slope is going to go right in front of x. So we can see that this one has a slope of -5/2 and this one has a slope of 5/2. So I can tell without looking at any of the rest of the problems that the answer is A. But just to be on the safe side, we're going to go ahead and go over this. It says the y-intercept is 2 plus 2. So I know that A is the correct answer. When we look at a question like number 9, we can see that the slope is 1. And so we look and say, there's not a 1 written there, but we assume, we know that it's there. And then the y-intercept, we have to make sure that it's the same. So -2, -2. So I know that B is the correct answer. When I look at this problem, I have to find slope. And one of the hardest things to do is like these graphs are tiny. So the easiest way to do this is you got to find out where it crosses in 2 spots. So the first thing you want to look for is the y-intercept. And so we'll do that in blue so that we can keep that train going. So it crosses right there on the y-axis. Remember, the y-axis is what we call the y-intercept. And we can see it crosses at -4. So if we look at our multiple choice options, that one's -4, that one's -4. And so now we got to find the slope, which is we got to find another spot on the graph where it crosses in the corner of a box, which is right here. We can see that it rises 3 and it runs 1. And so the slope would be 3/1. And if we reduce that, it would be 3. And so we can see that this one has a slope of 3. So we know that the last answer is the correct one. You'll do this for the remaining 2 problems. If you have questions or need help, please send me an email or Zoom.